Okay, hello and welcome to the first episode of TeaCast in Ikast, a podcast where we discuss all matter of things over a cup of tea or coffee. Today's guest is Krzysztof, or how do you pronounce it?
Krzysztof Pieprz.
Okay. In this podcast, I'll be having different guests with different backgrounds regarding nationalities and talk about anything that comes to mind. There's a few sections that will be included in every episode, such as the non-official sponsors, where we mention a sponsor for nothing since we ain't gonna get anything out of it. Weird correlations, which we will have to find an answer to, and an end of podcast question, which will be the same for everyone. Yeah. Let's start.
Yes,
You're Polish, right?
I guess.
Yeah. Uh, is there any specific difference between Poland and Denmark? Like, what's the most iconic difference between Denmark and Poland?
Culture-wise, or like, are we talking about culture between those people, or are we talking about Denmark and Poland as a country in whole?
I guess as a country, meaning I don't know.
Well, it's smaller,
politics.
significantly smaller.
Well, wait, which one is smaller? Denmark,
Poland.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. To be clear.
Denmark has almost 8 times of the Poland has almost 8 times the population of Denmark.
Really?
Yeah.
You search it up?
I mean, I just know it.
Oh,
I know
okay.
both populations.
Okay. You heard it for the first time here at TeaCast in Ikast. Krzysztof Pieprz tells us the exact number of how many?
8 times larger than Denmark's population.
Okay.
I guess structure agriculture, when you think about it, there's no mountains in Denmark and everyone knows about it. I mean, 200 meters hill.
Yes, oh my god.
Speak.
That's one of the not problems, but like also in Romania we have so many mountains and how do you call it?
Depressions?
Depression.
I guess.
In terrain and stuff.
No, cauldrons. Are they called cauldrons?
I'm not sure. But yeah, we have so many stuff like mountains. Like, is mountains the only thing we have? Okay, but Denmark is pretty much. I'm not to say it's a bad thing or a good thing. I'm not trying to insult or anything, but it's pretty much plain and kind of boring.
I mean, depends. You always have sea coasts all over it. You have what?
True. Yeah.
3 seas, 2 seas. No, how many are there?
At least it's
2.
Is it safer when you drive with a car? Like, I don't know, I'm not driving, I don't have a driving license, so like, when you drive, because it's so plain, you can see a lot in front of you.
I mean, it doesn't really, affect it that much, because even though there is no mountains, you still don't drive on mountains all the time, right? In different countries.
Yeah.
But you can, since we're talking about it, we can definitely see that, you can see that the streets and roads are significantly better in Denmark. And it's way easier. And also, people are driving differently than in the other countries. Like, I've seen and I've heard about many accidents made by people incapable of driving, while here in Denmark they just kind of they're chilly. Yeah. So you definitely can chill there.
Even when there's no mountains, you can, in Romania for example, even if you're not driving on a mountain road, there's still a lot of
bumps.
Yeah, bumps that you go up and down for a pretty large distance.
I mean, there is one bumpy road in Denmark.
Not
only one.
There's one bumpy road in Denmark.
There is one near Ikast actually.
Oh damn!
It's on the way from Ikast to Silkeborg, but not the motorway. It's more when you go through forests and stuff. Quite nice place, I recommend it. I've seen hiking spots there. I've seen rivers
I like Silkeborg because
but
they actually have hills.
But it's not quite the Silkeborg. It's more or less literally in the middle between those two cities. I don't remember the name of it. Neither city nor the road, but it's really nice. And you can definitely see the horizon because of the bumpy road.
Yeah, but I remember I've been last year or 2 years ago to Silkeborg. We had to film short movie or something, which got cancelled of course because of Corona and stuff. But they have hills in Silkeborg. Isn't that amazing? like actually hills that you can't see the horizon because of, like that
Yeah.
in any valley, you know. Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
Viola is, as you said, in a depression, cauldron, whatever you call it.
mm,
And if you were to go into the, on the street, on the street walk,
mhm.
walk street walk
Pathway?
street, pathway, like the main one, Gogol in Danish.
Oh, a boulevard? I'm not sure.
Boulevard, I think, yeah.
I actually don't know what boulevard means. I just think it's the place where there's a lot of stores and stuff and cars are not allowed to go. The street.
I suppose so. Well, either way, if you go there on Viola, you can see hills, as you call it, all around it, surrounding the Viola, which is really nice.
It's I fucking love Violet, man. Too bad it's far away.
It's so far away. But speaking, like coming back to Silkeborg, you have to notice that the significant point of Silkeborg is definitely their lakes. You have to admit that they do have them, quite some of them, and like
Dogo.
how many are those in there? To be exact, in Silkeborg, do you know amount of lakes that they have? Plentiful, isn't it?
There's one lake in Silkeborg.
No,
I don't know. I don't even know how many lakes Ikast has.
Do they even have one?
Yeah. They have. I know they have one. There's a school. You know Jonas Hessen?
Mm-hmm.
Like close to him.
That's a pod. The puddle.
Puddle. It's pretty big for a puddle. I don't know.
I mean, look.
There's ducks. Oh, lakes are big. Oh.
Yeah, and there's plentiful of them in Silkeborg.
Oh, funny. Because in Romania, what we call lake is any pond that's bigger than 10 meters. Well, not exactly, but you know.
I get it.
Dog, what's it? Did she eat something? Oh,
Yeah, she did.
oh,
A pillow.
bruh. Okay. So,
She tried.
being in Poland, different. Like, what about politics?
Politics. I mean, we all know that Denmark is really leftist and
Progressive and
progressive.
doing pretty well.
I mean, that's debatable.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, Poland is on the other hand much more conservative than Denmark,
Well,
which is.
no, no shit.
Well, you asked.
Yeah. Okay.
And well, it's really there is a big difference between those two, and it's really annoying, especially because also Poland is really religious. Where Denmark isn't that much.
Yeah, it's funny because like a lot of Danes, when they're teenagers, they have the confirmation, to confirm that they're still Christian and they believe in God and so on, and they get a lot of money out of that. But everyone knows they actually don't. They just do it for money.
I mean, yeah, well, we also had that when when you turn 18 in Poland instead of 16 or 15, I don't remember in Denmark. You also get confirmation, and like I remember my mom and my grandma specifically asking me if I really want to do it because I believe in God or they just want to get money. Obviously, you want to get the money. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to tell you that. I'm sorry, but like majority of friends that I had were doing it for money.
Yeah, Doggo, can you stop eating the pillow? Like get a pillow away or something. I don't know, put it on something.
I should do that. Yeah, I should do
Yeah.
that.
Is confirmation the equivalent of bar mitzvah?
I have no idea what bar mitzvah is. I mean,
I
I know it's Jewish.
Yeah,
but
I
that's
have no idea what it is, so don't quote me on that. I think it's some kind of confirmation for Jewish people.
I really don't know. I mean, it's. Oof.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about it.
Talking about religious. Oh my god, religion. I mean, confirmation is basically where you take the thing. I have no idea how they call that. When you accept Jesus into your heart for the very first time, when you're allowed to actually, confess to your priest and stuff for the very first time. Which is a big thing for Catholics, not gonna lie, but yeah, and I have no idea what about bar mitzvah?
Yeah,
mitzvah?
I think that's how it's called. Bar mitzvah or something like that. And I think they also get a lot of money. But let's not go into subjects we don't know.
Yeah, let's change it. Yeah, let's change it because I have no clue about that at all.
Did you have any plans before knowing you're gonna come to Denmark? What did you think you're going to do in the future?
So before I came to Denmark, I was just about to go to the high school. Yeah, it's a high school. That would be specifically related to engineering and electric engineering and IT. Basically, IT guy,
Oh,
you
cool.
know, which was
Yeah, I remember you were doing hacking and stuff like that. Well, not hacking, but coding.
coding. Yeah, well, I still was planning on that after I came to Denmark, but like that was my main point. Like that was what I wanted to do. I thought at that time, and like I wasn't too excited about it because simply there was no much of a choice in my town.
Yeah.
So it was just either this or like worse schools than that. And after that, I would probably just go to some bigger cities in Poland and I would just study or something. I really don't know. I didn't have much of a plan, I didn't have much to decide, and I didn't have much to do. So I guess Denmark opened my opportunities to do stuff.
Yeah. Same.
I guess. What about you then? What about you then?
I actually don't know. I was just doing the high school. We were like in the main city, which is more like a town. There's like a commune, you know, and that's where all the villages would go to.
Voivodeship, isn't it?
What?
Voivodeship, or something like that.
What?
The districts, I guess. Voivodeship, yeah, something like that. That's
yeah, not really, not anymore. I don't know. That's some old time stuff. But yeah, we would go to this big, kind of big school, which is also high school, and then there's two. It's like one. It's called professional, which is based on just doing work and like preparing for working, and then high school, which is you actually need high grades to go to high school, and then from that you can do other stuff.
We have that too, actually, but we have also one more type of high school that is called technical high school, where you just blend those two together.
Yeah, that's more like technical, not professional.
Well, but there's two of them. We actually have the one that is called professional, if you can call it that way, where you, as you said, you just do works and stuff. And then there's the other one, which is called technical, and that's where I was supposed to go. That was basically a mix of that and the high school, the one that we think of.
You pretty much didn't have any other choice. You just went to the closest high school next to you. But I wanted to go in the city and take an arts degree, high school, you know. I don't know if I told you, but like I took to be able to be admitted in the high school, you had to take 2 tests. Like you had to draw. It was for architecture, and I went to both and I drew, and I was actually quite pleased.
Accepted.
I was pleased with what I did. But there were a lot of people, you know, there. We had a few objects in front of us, and we just had to draw them, you know, from everyone's perspective. And I was also looking at the others, and I was thinking...
That's actually a nice test when you think about it. So basically, wait, let me understand that. So you're sitting like in a circle.
Yeah, in a semicircle, and then in front of us, in like kind of in the middle, there's an object, and we just have to draw it from our perspective.
From your own perspective, or from
your own perspective. And I was looking at the others, and they were all using some kind of techniques to draw lines and shapes and sketches and stuff, and I was just drawing what I see, like. But in the end, I was pretty pleased with what I drew, and in my opinion, at least, in my opinion, it looked really okay, really good. But you know, when we got the results, you needed 6 to pass and to be admitted, and I got 5.75. So yeah, I just went to the high school, and honestly, I didn't know what I was going to do after that. But after the first year of high school, I moved to Denmark, and yeah.
But you wanted to continue architecture when you were in Denmark, didn't you?
Yeah, I did for a while, but then I figured out it's actually not that easy.
My uncle is actually doing uni in Horsens, and he's actually like, because he's about to finish this year, I believe, or the next year. No, what am I talking about? No, he's supposed to finish 2023. But because of the union, he's like, you know, because they have to like do works to, you know, to prove themselves. They actually do create projects for buildings that you can actually see in Horsens. And I remember he showed me. There is one building next to the hospital.
Yeah.
I have no idea which one it is. I mean, I do, but I don't know how to describe it.
If there's people in Horsens, they probably know where the hospital is.
Yeah, but there's a building next to the hospital that he that he himself, you know.
Okay.
make a project for it, which is really cool.
But I kind of gave up on the idea because I'm afraid of competition. Plus, I don't know any techniques. I don't know anything. I draw. I consider myself an artist, but I only draw what I see. I don't have any techniques to draw what I see.
What is the competition there, though? There is no competition, is there?
There's people that draw every day and they draw since they were little. I mean, I do that too, but like, I actually only draw once in a while when I remember I can draw.
No, but like, people there, from my uncle's, stories, 80% of the time, I mean, obviously you have to do your own work, right? But like, since also Denmark is really communicative and like they do pressure you on teamwork, it also works there, and you do work in groups, usually with 5 people, and yeah, you divide your groups, like you divide your tasks between yourself. I mean, definitely you can have some hard time because there could be some people that
And also, besides competition, I didn't find it as a safe job. It's like sometimes you might get projects to work on, sometimes you don't. If you don't, you're kind of
I get it,
out of money. Okay, let's get on to the first weird correlation of the day. So choose a number between 1 and 6.
Well, 5.
5.
Says, can I do the digits afterwards? 5.75.
What?
Can I do 5.75?
Like, okay, so the question is, well, not question, but correlation is, using Internet Explorer leads to murder.
To murder?
Yes. Explain how. I don't know the answer. Just a quick note. We don't know the answers. Neither me, neither him, and everything is not scientific at all. It's just opinion, plain opinion, and just
Every answer is correct.
Kind of. So Internet Explorer leading to murder.
I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is definitely the efficiency of Explorer. That is shining. Well, there is a popular opinion about Internet Explorer to being very slow.
Yeah.
And I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying it's very slow. It's one of the slowest browsers out there. And I reckon people just killed themselves.
By the way, today's sponsor, Internet Explorer. Thank you for
Google.
Yeah. Well, did you ever get a new PC and you wanted to download Google? Go on Internet Explorer and download Google.
What?
Thank you for no money. Internet Explorer. Okay.
Sure. Definitely they would be, I don't know. I don't know if we can even use this word, kill themselves. Can we?
Just say murder.
Okay, well, people are murdering.
They murder themselves, no way.
Murder themselves?
We already use they say kill themselves.
Okay, well,
let's hope we don't get
people do. Yeah, I hope so. People
commit suicide. That's a better term.
People are committing suicide while using it just because it's too slow and they cannot do their jobs done. If you can't do your job done, you probably get fired. Meaning you can't really get enough money, and that's basically self-destruction using Google Internet Explorer.
Imagine the CEO
getting sponsored in that way, huh?
Yeah, and listening to this podcast, man. We're kind of bad talking a company, and that's also our sponsor.
You can do that.
So I was thinking, since Internet Explorer is kind of slow, people like, okay,
maybe it has some psychiatric powers. You enter it, you go into dark web, through it, and you never come back.
Yeah, I was thinking, since Internet Explorer is kind of slow, people use it, and the ones that use it, they at some point murder other people. And only later on, when they go on internet and they use Explorer, only then they found out that murder is actually illegal.
But why would they murder it in the first place? Then?
I don't know. They have
Explorer said, like Explorer told so.
They did it just because they wanted to. They didn't know it's illegal beforehand, you know, and they only found out later on.
So you're calling the people that are using Internet Explorer imbeciles, to the extent where they don't know whether murder is illegal or not.
They didn't know it because of internet. They only got the information later on.
When they download Google Chrome. Speaking of our new sponsor, Google Chrome says Internet Explorer doesn't like us anymore.
Sorry, Explorer, you just.
You got kicked out of the competition. I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay. So, about technology and stuff like that, that's like one of the oldest. That's like one of the oldest subjects ever since the primitive times. You know, when even in medieval times, you know, there was this question everyone would ask: do video games cause violence?
I wonder if there is a relation between, as you mentioned, times, whether it was causing violence back in the medieval or not.
Well, I mean, where do you think all the swords came from? It's from video games, you know?
And then I have a question. Do you think they had shooters in medieval times?
No, because they
arrows?
They have arrows and
crossbows.
Yeah.
Do you think they can create like automatic crossbows? Or like
what was the medieval times they got inspired by video games. You know?
Okay, so what was the medieval times in medieval times? In the medieval times games?
Swords and bows and.
Okay, well that was the current, like that was the nowadays of theirs, right?
What?
That's what they're playing as like current.
Yeah.
Era. So basically they were like when they're playing with the swords, that was like our cyberpunk.
Man, I don't know, man. Okay.
So what was the older technology that they're playing?
The older technology. Oh, I don't know. Stones.
Hatchets. Made of stones.
Yeah, hatchets and stones. And the stones is like the shooter. You know, you take a stone and like that's an FPS. Okay. The actual question: do video games cause violence? That's actually a debate. Everyone would say no. Like people that are a little rational, they would say no. Of course not. It doesn't have to do anything with violence. But then Karens would say, oh my God, video games. There's so much violence in there.
I mean. Official public, the newspapers, they love to have some drama ongoing, and that's literally the easiest way of creating something that people would watch, meaning assigning a murder or just a violent act to games. For example, I remember there was a guy in my hometown that happened 20 years ago. Source, do trust me. So the guy apparently was in his 20s.
Yeah.
And he was, let's call him a loser, because he was living with his mom, and he didn't even work. He just sat there playing computer games entirely.
Does he have a name?
I don't remember it, honestly.
He's such a loser, I don't even remember his name.
Let's call him Michael.
Okay, Michael. Michael from Poland, such
a Polish name. Yeah. The guy
was he adopted?
No, definitely not. His mom once told him to stop playing games and he's go somewhere. Again, he was in his 20s.
20s? Okay.
Yeah, he was in his 20s. That's why I called him a loser. He was in his 20s and his mom was still like,
You also almost in your 20s.
Yeah, but I'm not living with my mom, am I?
Okay.
Anyway, the guy didn't have a job. The guy didn't have he didn't study. He didn't have a job.
Okay, that kind of loser.
Yes.
For shocking.
And I don't know what socially speaking. I doubt he had, because again, the main theme here is that he was absolutely addicted to games.
Yeah.
And once his mom just shut his internet off because he was playing too much and he didn't listen to her. And apparently he went to some rage mode where he basically stabbed her multiple times to death, and then plug the internet on and start play and continue playing until someone realized she was dead.
Actually,
that
actually happened in your town. No?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit!
But that was when I was like 5, 2.
Oh, I don't know. Even better.
Anyway, so and people did assign it to like the reason why he did that was because of playing games and stuff. And I mean, yes, you can argue because of that to some extent, but on the other hand. Can you not tell me that this kind of behavior did come purely from games, or did not he have some mental issues before that? Definitely. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it came mainly from a video game. I think the frustration of being stopped from what you're doing every day. Like as you said, he was obsessed with playing video games, and if someone suddenly stops you from doing that, you go in
You
rage
get upset,
mode.
but you don't
Yeah.
kill people.
Well, depends.
I mean,
It's in Lesbian. This think about drugs, for example.
yeah.
The addicts, if they're like really obsessed, addicted to it, and you suddenly, I don't know, steal their.
Cut them off. Yeah, well, but
Yeah,
the
they're
body.
gonna get mad about it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So anything you do when you're obsessed with, if someone suddenly stops,
Definitely, you get upset about it, but like it still doesn't like. There has to be something else on top of that to make someone commit such a crime.
yeah.
Deed.
Also, but I'm not saying video games don't have any part to do with it, because I actually think video games
They release the stress, definitely.
they're actually a factor in causing violence in people and
I would
children
disagree.
and anyone.
I would disagree. Games, I mean, surely games have different impact on kids that don't understand the world yet.
Yeah.
Just yet, they're just developing and.
Okay,
you
let's
know.
talk in general, just people in general, not just kids.
Well, in my opinion, they don't cause violence because, well, imagine there is a John
Yeah.
that has been working
There's
10
a John.
hours 10 hours a day,
Yeah.
and he's not from Poland this time.
Where is he from?
I don't know. I don't know, Israel.
Oh, man, that's okay.
Okay, so he's been.
Side note. What I heard 2 days ago from someone, I didn't know this before. I knew that there's a lot of jokes about Australia being upside down, and it's just because they're like so far down the globe, and
Mm-hmm.
no one really cares. But I heard actually when it's summer here, it's winter there, and the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's snowing here, that means it's summer there in Australia. How crazy is that?
I mean, just enough crazy. Just imagine being upside down. That's enough craziness. And I heard about it, so I don't know. I can't comprehend that.
And poor guy, like that's why.
How the gravity works there?
I don't know, man. I think they float too. But that's why. That's probably why in the winter of 2020, the winter being like the beginning of 2020, the wildfire thing,
Mhm.
forest, because it was summer back then. It was so hot that the forest started burning. Because apparently it's also extremely hot in the summer.
When was it?
I think it was in the winter of between 2019 and
winter.
2020. We had winter, but they had summer back then.
Okay. That's really interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, going back to the
story.
John
Yes,
from
back to the
Israel.
story. Yeah, John from Israel. So he's been working 10 hours and he doesn't have anything at home. Like, he doesn't have any hobbies or anything because, well, if you work 10 hours a day, you can't really have a social life or anything,
You don't
right?
really have time for anything.
Exactly. So basically what he can do is prepare food for the next day and just either go straight to sleep or have
Can
like
afford
1
to
or
do.
2 hours free. So what he's gonna do? Well, play games. I mean,
Yeah.
that releases his stress. He enters his own world and
Yeah.
basically he can at least forget about a little bit about his work, which is really nice and it does help people a lot. Then there's Margaret.
Okay. From
Yes, from India.
Margaret from India.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Margaret from India is 7 years old,
Yeah.
and she still doesn't understand the concept of life, how to be a
live.
Indian technician.
Man.
But since the family really loves her and they have enough money to get her a brand new Dell PC, they decided to buy her a PC and basically leave her on her own. Maybe she figured out how to do it. The first thing she did was install Steam and started playing games.
Okay.
And it's
she,
all fun.
at 7 years old, of course, she knew how to download Steam. And
She's Indian.
Okay. With those by the way, no.
No.
It's stereotypes that are completely not true, okay?
Yes. So Margaret started playing games, and since she still doesn't understand how everything works, she tries to find herself a
sword.
A what?
A sword.
Not a sword, like
a gun.
a thing that she can follow. Like she needs a guidance in her life for the time being, right? And since she's gonna play games probably for most of her time, not 24/7, but
25/7.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go 25/7.
Okay.
She's gonna find her, how do we call it? A tutor? Guidance?
Yeah, guidance.
Yeah, in the games. And it's just the same situation as if she was to watch cartoons in the TV. She would just find it there. And like TV cartoons are mostly...
But they're also really violent.
TV cartoons are mostly, focused around kids. So
also
that's why
what kind of.
Exactly, but like Happy Tree Friends, huh?
Today's sponsor Happy Tree Friends. Please go watch it on YouTube. It's very child friendly.
But like the cartoons are really like focused, like not focused. They are for kids, so like they're not violent. But like however, if she was to play games, said Margaret, the games are not specifically for her, and there is a warning on them. It's just because of parents. They did a terrible job of buying her that.
But like, do you think any kid ever has downloaded a game and said, if you're not 15 yet, please ask your parents if you can? Do you think they actually stopped the game, went to their parents and asked them, can I play this game because I'm not 15 yet?
Yes, I actually do know them.
Oh, okay.
But it was mostly with the 18, the games that were 18.
Who's that?
Me, for example. My cousin. Lots of people. It's like playing, I don't know, Assassin's Creed when you were 9 or something.
Wow.
Or GTA.
I think when you're actually a kid, you don't care at all about the game itself, about the story.
You don't.
Just,
but parents though, you don't have enough money to buy those kind of games, right?
Oh, yeah,
and you're gonna ask the parents, and the parents are gonna see the 18.
Well, not if you
18 label.
Not if you pirate. Which, by the way, is illegal. Don't do that.
Today's one service Pirate Bay.
And uTorrent. I think that's enough sponsors. We're getting too much money.
Yes, that's why we have such a quality content
setup. Yes. And content. But I think is no. Of course, they're not the reason, or at least the main reason. But I think it's like 25% of the reason of violence. I think they're definitely included in. Because think about, I don't know, Assassin's Creed and stuff like that. You see, even not as a kid, but as a person in general, you see, oh my god, blades and swords and like, killing you. Like, oh, I want to do that too. I want to be so cool. And then you see, I don't know, a cool move when someone jumps over someone else's shoulder and like fucking pushes him to the ground. Like, oh.
And that's how you learn how to throw a hammer onto a hammer machine in Domus.
What?
And that's how you learn how to
throw hammer machine.
Like how to throw a hammer, like how to punch with a hammer. The hammer machine in Domus.
That thing. Like. But yeah, so they don't do it actively, but subconsciously they still think something. Oh my god, how much I'd like to put this guy over and like turn him, like do
so
really.
People have health bars and stuff.
Yeah, to make a really cool move, and I don't know, maybe sometimes you get drunk and you're like, oh, want me to show you a really cool move I learned from a video game? I'm gonna show you, and then he takes him and like throws him out the window and you're like, oh, sorry. No, I guess we gotta call the host.
Well, same goes with movies. If he was to see the same.
Yeah, also movies.
Well, that's why I came up with Margaret from India and John from Israel. That there's so many different situations that you can't really say whether they do actually cause violence or not, because there's so many different people playing different games.
But
and also not every game is violent.
Yeah, true. Of course.
Overcooked.
No, not violent. No. Actually, no.
I mean, it provokes
fire.
No,
actually, it's product. It learns you how to cook. Teaches you.
Yeah, definitely. That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Throw raw fish on the floor, pick it up, and serve it.
Just put the stuff on the pan. It's gonna cook itself.
Yeah. Speaking of,
we should make Gordon Ramsay play Overcooked.
Speaking of,
yeah.
So we talked about games that cause violence.
Yeah.
They don't. Debatable.
Yeah.
Because of their violence.
Okay, let's say final opinion, they don't, but they still have one small influence on violence.
They have influence over life, definitely. That's everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, everything can cause
Actually,
violence, in my opinion.
Exactly.
That's a good.
Yes.
That's a good.
So video
Let me
games
finish
do
up.
not cause violence directly.
Okay, but let's talk about the different games though, because we've talked about the games that are
Violent.
they're violent. What about games such as FIFA that is very known?
I hate it.
Yeah, but it's very known for causing rage quits and basically people raging out.
Really?
Isn't it? Imagine
I don't know.
two people playing
Well,
the
same with Dota.
I've never heard more about about any other games than FIFA when it comes to raging. You're playing online and on your Xbox chilling, and then you losing the game, over and over again.
Isn't that
and then people
any-
just throw the control.
Isn't that any competitive game?
Yeah, but for some reason FIFA is like the most renowned one.
Well, maybe it's probably because I'm not in the bubble of FIFA. I'm not into FIFA at all, and probably that's why I don't hear about it.
Okay, but either way, there are games that are also causing you, raging out, even though they're not really violent.
But
they're competitive.
About violence, what you mentioned before, I think it's also good in some ways. Like the John from Israel that works a lot. He's very stressed, and then he plays games, and then he
Releases it.
all the stress, all the violence into the game.
Mm-hmm.
It feels nice.
That's why I came up with that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
John.
big brain with the John and
Be
Margaret.
like John. Well, don't work 10 hours a day. That's kind of but like.
Don't be like Margaret.
Yeah.
Don't buy Dell at
Be
7.
somewhere between
Margaret and John.
Margaret and John, but more towards John. Okay.
I would come up with more like Sasha from Russia.
Well, I
That
actually
doesn't- that
believe
doesn't-
Sasha is a name in Russian.
This time?
Okay, so reason is parenthood a reason for serial killers, people becoming serial killers? So
Yes. I've been watching so many, not podcasts, but there is a YouTube channel. Now I can't really come up with the. I cannot come up with the name. I forgot the name. But there is this channel that focuses on psychological side of criminology.
Yeah.
Basically, they've got the released footage from the police of the interviewers of one of the most.
Could you please close the door? It's kind of cold. Thank you.
So.
Psychology, YouTube.
Yes, so basically they released the video of the interview when the serial murderers or massive shooters or like school shooters, everyone really is they have to be interrogated by police, right?
Yeah.
And the video footage after the trial is going to be released depending on if police feels like it.
Yeah.
And this said channel basically explains the entire interrogation by the psychology perspective. They explain how do the interrogators worked, what was their tactics and stuff. And basically I get to know a lot about it, and also I've been listening to the other podcasts and everything about massive murderers and serial killers. And you can definitely leads to the fact that most of them, not everyone, because it can either be, let's say in 80%, the murderers, the deeds that they've done are mostly caused by either mental disorder, or bad childhood. There was this renowned, I'm saying it too many times, there was this serial killer with a Polish name, but again, I don't remember his name. I just remember that he...
Let's say,
he had
Polish name. Ivan from Poland.
Okay, Ivan from Poland. Again, I'm so not prepared for that. But the guy has allegedly killed over 250 people.
Bro.
And most of those murders were done in mafia, because they've noticed him killing people and they basically hired him as a hitman.
Over 250, and he managed. How did he manage to get away from so many?
I don't remember how he got caught, but that was probably someone from the mafia trying to get rid of him and then basically just calling on him. But there's many of those, and he did he did all different ways of killing people. He was basically putting he was poisoning their drinks in the clubs and leaving, and they would die an hour later, and he would be gone by long time gone. Anyway, my point is, he explained that he always wanted to provide for his family. That was the main reason why he joined the mafia, and because he wanted to be better than his father, and he got abused. And at 17, sorry, because he was so numb to pain and to drastic situation, because he was basically beaten by his dad and his mother.
Yeah.
He got numb with all of his emotions. Basically, whenever something happened, he would really not react at all. And he was once beaten up by someone with a baseball stick.
Whoa. Oof.
In the
baseball
bat, sorry. In a club, because he just looked very weirdly at some guy.
Bruh.
He came back with a crowbar and basically killed him at the spot.
Ooh.
And he didn't feel any remorse for that because father and mother. So from that, his entire career started.
Damn.
So yes, definitely, yeah.
Talking about almost getting beaten up just because someone looks at you weirdly. I remember when I was in the club, it's called discotheque, in Romania.
Discotheques. Yeah.
There's the different villages and stuff, and there's one village for being renowned for being
the party one.
No, another ethnicity. We're not gonna say which one, but
because the people are from the other. Yeah.
But being in Romania, I think you know which one we're talking about. So I was just in the club, just being with my friends dancing, and my friends and my brother noticed someone was looking weirdly at me for some time, and they almost came up to me to be aggressive and stuff, but my brother stopped them. Luckily, my brother is pretty big and buff, so.
Alcohol provides the stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can definitely get beaten up just by
looking at someone. Yeah. And that's what happened to the guy.
But
I swear, I would love to know some of the
stories.
Yeah, some of the sources, because I'm telling them all and you can't really check it. Tokyo.
Yeah, it's fine. What, we have to go? Or?
I mean, do we have time?
What? It's 5:40.
No, how much left do you have?
Oh, it's free. Let's say 15 more minutes. It's fine. Then we go to less. Okay. So 5 more minutes.
The finish up question.
Okay. We have one more correlation.
Out, right?
We're gonna have one more correlation and then the question at the end.
Okay.
So choose between 1 and 5.
Again? Oh, that was 1 from 6.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, 5.
5. Okay. Mexican lemon imports prevent highway deaths.
Prevent highway deaths.
Yeah. Death.
Like death on highway.
Yeah.
And Mexican lemon.
Imports, yes. So how much lemons there are imported from Mexico to other countries?
Okay, well, as we all know...
stereotypes, by the way, nothing scientific.
There isn't gonna be any stereotypes. I mean, lemon has to be transported by trucks, right?
Probably,
by huge trucks. Most
do they grow lemons in Mexico?
Mexico.
Do they?
I mean, isn't lemon in the Mediterranean? No.
When I think of
it would make sense. It would make sense.
It would make sense. Spain, Italy, and stuff.
It would make sense then. Yeah.
Probably. Let's say they're actually also in the Mediterranean. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say so.
Let's say they have lemons.
Let's say they do. They have to be transported by trucks at some point.
Yeah.
Obviously you can ship them somewhere, but then they go on the way and they have to definitely be driven. That's how transportation works basically.
Yeah.
You're welcome, guys.
Okay. Thanks for clearing it. Yeah.
Exactly. You're welcome, guys. Because of that, there's an increase of trucks on the ways.
Yeah.
On the motorways.
Yeah.
And as we all know, the limits, they cannot really drive as fast as normal cars, and obviously the limit is different in different countries.
Yeah.
But basically they're not allowed to drive as fast as normal cars, Yeah.
So trucks, because they're big and they have to
they're slow and there's a lot of them, so
but
people have to
isn't
slow
it
down.
more dangerous to drive with trucks?
It's more dangerous to drive a truck, is it?
Yeah. And why lemons? What's up with why lemons and not any other?
First of all, depends on the trucks, because if you have a very high-tech truck, you can basically fall asleep and it will be still fine. I mean,
truck.
I don't.
Tesla truck, the last sponsor of today, Tesla. Have you ever
If you ever
driven
wanted
too much and wanted to sleep while driving?
we don't promote that.
Yeah. Don't try it.
Lemons.
Don't try it with other cars.
I cannot find the relation with lemons. Do you?
Lemons. I don't
Limes.
know, lemons. The yellow.
Yellow.
Okay.
Yellow.
Let's say the trucks are not covered. I mean, they're the lemons. They don't go out, but they're not. Let's say the truck is transparent.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And you can see the lemons, the yellow, and like pretty bright, so you can see the truck.
Or maybe or maybe you think it's it's yellow, so it's gonna be turned red in a second, so you have to slow down.
Yeah. Yellow. It's like the traffic light. You need to be careful. Nice. So the more lemons, just put lemons on every car, and then
put a few lemons.
That's how we prevent traffic death. Just paint every car yellow. All the cars.
Yes.
Just be a taxi driver, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
And the question which I'm gonna ask everyone is a question I came up with. If you remember, when did you first find out that you're going to die, and what was your reaction? That you're going to die eventually.
Again?
Everyone.
So
When did you first find out that everyone, including you, is going to die, and what was your reaction?
I don't really know. Do you know when you find out?
Yeah, kind of. Not exactly, but I think I was around 6 or 7 or something. Then my sisters, I heard about someone dying, like I didn't even know what it means, and then I kind of knew that it's like sleeping forever and you're not coming back, and my sister were like,
that's getting dark.
Kind of telling me as a joke, you're going to die. It's me, like, wait, me? No, that's impossible. I'm immortal. I'm not gonna die. What do you mean? And then it kind of hit me, and I was like, kind of traumatized for a few days. Wait, I'm going to die. Everyone is going to die. Like, oh my god.
I have no idea. I don't remember when I found out. I mean, maybe I just knew it. I just, someone just explained it when I was even younger, and I just, kind of stick to it. I remember the first time when I was like traumatized about death was when I was more or less like 5-year-old.
Yeah.
And I just had a dream about my mom passing away.
Oh.
You never. That was a very, very weird dream. Huh? Shishka?
Your mom?
Shishka. Yeah. I remember when I was dreaming about it, and then I was on a pirate ship somewhere. It was 5-year-old. It was 5-year-old's dream. Don't judge, okay?
But you remember a dream from?
I do remember a lot of my dreams from when I was younger, but I don't remember ones that I have right now. I remember the ones that I had.
I also remember one when I was really young.
I remember plenty of them. Well, and I was passing by some aisles.
Yeah.
And then I saw my PC.
Okay.
On the island, just like
Okay,
my
guy
bed.
had PC when he was 5. Rich guy.
There was a desk, PC, and then monitor. So I come up to it, and there was Skype.
Yeah. Skype.
Okay, then I think I was in like 7 or 8 then, I guess.
Yeah.
Not 5, 7 or 8.
Okay.
And my mom was trying to call me on the Skype there, so I picked it up, and she was saying that she has to go now, and like she loves me and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what that meant, and then I saw like a blast of light going from the ground to to the sky, somewhere like a few meters away.
Yeah.
And then I saw her on this on the blast, and
the beam.
she going up.
Beam of light.
Yeah, beam. Yeah, I guess that was a beam. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
And that was the first time I was terrified of death, because like I realized, oh my god, my mom's gonna pass away sometime.
I remember one dream from other dreams from when I was small that kind of gave me claustrophobia. I think that's where it started.
Claustrophobia.
Yeah, I remember I was, the old fashioned stoves where you put fire and it makes the house warm,
Mm-hmm.
And there usually underneath there's a place where you put wood so it stays there warm.
Yeah, we have that. Yeah.
I remember I was there in a dream, and then it was dark and it kept getting smaller and smaller, and I couldn't get out, and yeah, that was pretty cool. I think that's how I got claustrophobia. But yeah, that's about it, I guess. Thanks for listening to the first episode of TeaCast and Ikast. I hope you liked it, and wait for more.